Welcome to Film Phreeks. This is Justin Llewellyn,
Eddie Williams.
and now we are discussing with the new DC extended universe film that's come out with Wonder Woman, which is the fourth film in the DC extended universe franchise that began with Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, and now Wonder Woman, and is basically it's the second film to star Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, coming off of her small appearance that she had in Batman vs Superman. Now, a little backstory. As we discussed in our previous reviews of Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad, I am actually really enjoying where this universe is coming across lately with these films. When Man of Steel came out in 2013, that was the film that that introduced us to this world, and I did like that film. And I was really curious to see how far they're going to go with making more of these other characters from the comics be brought into this universe, especially how they brought in other major characters like Batman and all them. And
yeah, I'm also enjoying the universe they're building right now. At times I do get kind of like a little nervous because unlike like how Marvel was doing, DC is kind of doing theirs a little different, and sometimes it feels messy, but I'm still dedicated because I'm a big DC fan. So I'm enjoying so far what they're doing. Man of Steel, it was good. I enjoyed it. Now I did enjoy Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad, but I felt like those had a lot of flaws. But so far, I'm sticking with it. I think they'll do good.
yeah, I feel like the movies are going the step in the right direction. I did have problems with Batman vs Superman, mainly because of its studio interference and a lot of the things that they kind of rushed into. And I did have pretty much the same problems with Suicide Squad. But with this one, what really got me excited for it was the fact that not only did I think that Wonder Woman was one of my favorite parts of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, but it seemed like now that they actually feel like they're taking the step in the right direction by doing more origin stories again with their characters, like they did with Man of Steel.
I think that's why DC, because other than Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman and Suicide problems lies within not having origins to build up to that.
Yeah, which
And I think that's what kind of made a lot of people disappointed. In their defense, I was too, because it felt like we're just jumping into something we don't know. But it was nice seeing that there were Wonder Woman coming out that's bringing back more and more origin stories again.
Yeah, and with this one, this movie was directed by Patty Jenkins, who, if you remember, she actually directed an earlier film called, from 2003 called Monster with Charlize Theron, which I really loved. And so it was really cool that she started out doing kind of a indie-ish type movie and then making it into Hollywood with this one. And this film was actually the story was actually written by Zack Snyder. And so while Zack Snyder didn't really have much to do with the film other than the story, you can tell that the film does have some things that he kind of helped work on with the film that you can actually kind of thank him for. So with this one, we have the story that involves Diana Prince, who comes from the land of the Amazons called Themyscira. Themyscira. Yeah, Themyscira. Home to the Amazons, and she basically starts out as a child who is born into combat. She starts out as a little girl who wants to be joining her goddesses in combat, basically.
Soldier.
Yeah, she wants to be
a fellow soldier with the military.
Yeah, with the Amazons, and basically she gets recruited by, and this was shocking. I didn't know that Robin Wright was in this movie. She plays her mother's her aunt, named General Antiope, who trains Diana to become strong and powerful, while at the same time her mother, Queen Hippolyta, played by Connie Nielsen, objects to it because, as not going to spoil anything because this will be a non-spoiler, there's a dark backstory that involves, that we review later, about the reason why she doesn't want Diana to become strong and powerful. And as the film goes along, as you see in the trailer, you see that Diana grows up to become a strong Amazonian, and she learns combat, she learns how to use her sword, or she learns how to use all kinds of weapons. And then one day she sees that after she discovers her powers, she basically discovers after that there's a plane that crashes in the water, and she sees a man named Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, and she rescues him from the water. And basically, as the movie goes along, he gets her to come back. She goes on him to a journey back to Earth or whatever.
It looks like there's like a Bermuda Triangle where they go through this alternate universe where practically she goes through like you remember that little like where let's like they go through a wormhole and they walk in and basically he comes to our world and she is helping him fight in World War I.
Yeah, and she discovers that there's a war that's going on there with where he's from, and it's World War One, and their plan is to stop a woman named Dr. Poison and her accomplice, which is the General Ludendorff, played by Danny Houston.
Yeah, Ludendorff, and while you got that, Diana is also led to believe that the war was created and started by Ares.
Yes, who was the god of war, basically. And her plan is to basically go along with Chris Pratt's character, Steve Trevor, she believes that he can lead him to Ares. And I gotta tell you right now, just basically a long story short, I feel like this is probably the best DC Extended Universe film that they've made so far. Now, I did enjoy some of the other ones, but I feel like this is the best one that they've done as far as story structure, the way that it's a lot more... You actually get involved with the characters, the way that the actual movie progresses with getting to know Diana Prince, and it's just everything that the films that they've been building up to should be at from now on.
Yeah, I do say that I enjoyed this a lot. I got two different categories to kind of rate this on a story structure standpoint. I think this is the best one in the DC universe to date compared to the last three. But as far as on-point entertainment, just like having a downright out blast, I don't think it was the best in the series yet. But as far as like story structure and plot and the most important thing, yes, this is the best in the DCU.
Yeah, absolutely. And my biggest pros for this movie the most is I love Gal Gadot as Diana Prince. I feel like I mean we saw her from Batman vs Superman.
Well, I don't know if it's Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
Gadot. Well, anyways, like you said, she is the best choice that they could have chosen for Wonder Woman. She's amazing.
Not just that, but she carries...
Not only that, that's kind of like my screen crush right now.
Yeah. I'm still with her, but I still have a thing for Harley. But anyway, yeah, Gal Gadot is perfectly cast as Diana Prince and Wonder Woman. And, she not only does she carry a lot of the physical performance, but she also carries the emotional integrity, too. Because you can really feel a lot of the arc that she's going through with basically trying to take down Ares. And
you know what? Surprisingly enough, I enjoyed the hell out of Chris Pine.
Oh, I did too. I really enjoyed Steve Trevor in this film. And plus, also, what really helps this movie a lot is I really love the chemistry between him and Diana. I felt like it was natural.
I think they had a hell of a great chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed the hell out of their chemistry. It was really good. And I did like how he had some of that, he kind of threw some of that little Captain Kirk comedy in it.
Yeah.
A little bit, not overused, but threw some stuff and it made you giggle. I did enjoy that.
Yeah. And plus, it helps too that you have also these characters that you also introduce which is part of his team that he goes along. And you know what this movie kind of reminds me of now that I think about it? I'm just saying it in terms of similar like themes or elements. This is basically the DC version of Rogue One. You notice that? Like how, in both films you have a girl who's leading this rebellion, which is by which in this case is Chris Pine and his crew. And in that film, too, in Rogue One, you had a group of characters who are basically on their own and trying to stop an evil general and everything.
You know what this movie really reminded me? It reminded me of watching Captain America's First Avenger.
I was saying...
World Wars, then you have that... Because it seems like DC and Marvel have similar characters. Like, I like to compare Batman to Iron Man, and then you have Wonder Woman. She can be both Thor, but at the same time, she resembles so much like Captain America with the whole sword, the red, white, and blue, and she he is actually from that era.
Yeah, absolutely, and plus and that's what I'm saying. This film is basically a combination of both Captain America, the first Avenger, and Rogue One, and how both films have in this film you have characters that are part of Steve Trevor's team that you actually get a lot of depth and characterization for, like his teammates that he's with. You actually get to know these characters and see how they go on their journey. Which in
I know, and you know what? That's another thing I do gonna have with my pros on that is his team has got great chemistry.
They do, yeah.
They answer back one another. I enjoyed a lot of their comedy, and the one that really stuck out to me the most, I really enjoyed, which is funny, is the Moroccan actor who is playing kind of like the dark skinned guy, and he's short. He was actually in Three Kings.
Yeah, I remember him. Samir, that's the character's name.
Samir, that's his name. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, he was the one who was basically a master of disguise, and I like the funny banter he has with Trevor in some parts where he's like trying to sneak into a base and all that, and it cracked me up. And not just that, but I like the other guy too, the guy Charlie, the kind of the Scottish dude. He kind of reminded me of Private Jackson from Saving Private Ryan.
The drunken Scottish dude.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of Private Jackson from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I enjoyed him too. I also, for what he had, I did enjoy the Native American guy too.
Yeah, everyone did they were all fleshed out very well, and not to the point where you can still identify these characters, which I appreciated. Yeah. And also, but anyway, too.
What's up?
Yeah, but basically, as the movie, another pro I give too is the action scenes are well done as well. I think my favorite moment, at least from the action scenes, is the part where it's on the no man's land, where you see, like you see in the trailer, where Wonder Woman is going across this basically this war zone where all these guys are shooting at her with their cannons and everything, and she's just going on her own, and she starts blocking everything.
It's all slow mo, and it was done. The slow mos were shot and edited very good in itself when they did slow motion action scenes. I enjoyed that. The cinematography was so freaking beautiful in this movie.
Yeah, it was, especially
beautiful.
Especially the scenes in Themyscira where we see Wonder Woman's home. That really sticks out the best. It kind of looks like a mix of like the Krypton from Man of Steel and a little bit of Thor, of the Thor movies, of what Asgard looks like a little bit. But anyway, yeah. Another thing I appreciated too was that this film actually captures some emotional scenes well. Like, it kind of threw me off toward the end. Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you actually do get some pretty emotional stuff in this movie that you actually feel for these characters on.
Yeah.
And not just that, but
yeah, because it does do a lot of parts where they kind of hit like they go into more depth with some of Tyler's military guys, like, and you can see the suffering of mental suffering they're going through with the war.
Yeah, and another thing I also enjoyed too was I also enjoyed the little tie-ins, the little Easter eggs they do here and there that tie into the other DC films, which I thought was cool. Not just that, but this film also, even though it is an origin story, it basically is also a tie-in to the next film that we'll be seeing coming up later. So, not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, you'll see it when you find out.
If you want to watch our spoiler, we're getting ready to do one. Justin will put a link down to it.
Yeah, but overall, there's more I want to go into. But I will say that the performances were great, the action scenes were great. And also the story was very gripping. And this is everything that you can do for an origin story by also giving you something that takes its time with the structure and doesn't have a lot of studio interference involved.
Yeah. Now, do you want to go with some of our cons?
If I had a couple of cons, these are just some minor things. I did feel like, while I did enjoy the villain, I did feel like it was a little. It felt like it was a twist that was kind of threw me off a little bit, because even though I liked it at first, I was kind of like, well, they probably could have done that a little better, because it did.
My cons is I did kind of want to complain about a little bit was I thought that Dr. Poison and that Goosengoff or whatever his name is, I thought they didn't, like, I get what they were doing, because you're supposed to focus on probably their was really nothing more than just a regular jail guy. And then, surprisingly enough, Dr. Poison, I thought she was going to be like the big time badass in this, and she really didn't have much of a closure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the villains were that now these are better villains than say the other films, like with Batman. Well, at least better than say Suicide Squads, because you at least see a better motive involved with the villains, but you still feel like you lack depth with them because it does feel like they didn't have a lot of focus.
Yeah, because they weren't focusing much on them. You were focusing much more on just the war in general.
Yeah. But another thing too I have, and this is really nothing really to do with the movie itself, but it's more the experience. While I did enjoy the 3D in some parts, I did feel like it didn't really feel like it needed to be in 3D. I felt
I
like
know. I enjoyed the 3D too, but I also noticed there was a lot of non-3D shots in it.
yeah. So now the No Man's Land sequence had some good 3D parts, but I did feel like the rest of the film, while it didn't look like it was, it still looked like it was in 3D. It didn't feel like it had like any like depth or atmosphere or anything.
Yeah.
So that threw me off. But overall, though, I will say that with those little flaws I had, I still highly love this film, and I can't wait to see Justice League. And with that, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I have the same score, 9 out of 10.
All right, fair enough. Well, for those of you who have also seen Wonder Woman, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can check out more of our reviews here, and we'll be seeing you in our next one. We'll see you later.